This is just insanity. None of this is even close to accurate. Well, you guys asked for it, and I am so excited to be rolling out actual Autistic Reacts episode 2. For starters, I just want to say that I'm kind of a late bloomer reviewing this one because so many other autistic advocates have reacted to it, but I have decided to react to Music by Sia. And boy, I mean, there was a ton of controversy when this movie came out. For those of you who haven't heard of the movie and what all the fuss of it is about, it's basically about a non-verbal autistic teenage girl who all of a sudden has to be cared for by her older sister after their grandmother passes away unexpectedly. One of the biggest controversies with the film is that Maddie Ziegler, who's a non-autistic actor, is playing the autistic character. And with that said, it's also been heavily criticized for its very offensive portrayal of autism. I'm going to objectively review the movie while giving my honest feedback and opinions on it. And right before we get into this, just remember to like and subscribe.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, there's, I guess the girl named Music. Okay, putting on her clothes. Instant inaccuracy there. Autistic people don't just slap their thighs like Music is doing when they're stimming. It's just funny to look at it as an autistic myself because it shows you the desperate attempts of non-autistic people to portray an autistic character accurately, but it's just not working. Hey? The hand movements are accurate. I don't know about the facial expressions. I can't tell if she's actually autistic or having a spasm attack because that's just not the way we behave when we're stimming or off in our own little world. I'm very confused, like, so far from what I'm seeing of why Sia had to make this a musical film. I'm not saying autistic people don't actually view the world in a dancing, fun, pretty with roses, that kind of environment that you're seeing with the character Music, but just the way they're showing it and embellishing on it just doesn't really sit well with me. And another thing, just physically looking at Music, just visually speaking, I don't know why Music is wearing headphones all the time. There are a lot of autistic people who wear headphones, but not all the time. I understand they're trying to really exaggerate in a fun way to show autism, but that's just not the way you should go about it, at least for me, because it's also, I think it's stereotyping for portraying an autistic character. And on another note, there are so many other objects autistics use to either stim or control their emotions, including stress balls, earplugs, fidget spinners, Beyblades, game consoles, and many more. So as far as what they're showing that just autistics use headphones and wear them all the time to control their emotions and mannerisms, I need more of those objects, Sia. I need more of those. So I like what they're showing here because it debunks a general stereotype a lot of people have about autistics, and that we're so mentally challenged that we can't even perform basic life skills or functions, such as doing chores, getting your clothes on, brushing your teeth, making your own bed.
Little Miss Muffet, where you been hiding yourself? Got a lot of pups for you today. 10 dogs, new National Geographic, gold mine. There's a Great Dane and a Golden Retriever.
Autistic people are very visual, whether it's being a visual learner or just looking at an object. We love to look at pictures or images that we really like or admire. In this case, Music loves to look at pictures of animals. I know what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, I called it before even no one seen this coming. Yeah. So this, I called it before it was happening. What did I call? Well, As you can see, she adheres to a strict routine. A lot of autistics, especially those who are low functioning, adhere to a strict routine. And if the same daily routine that they usually adhere to is different by just the slightest, it can make them have a big freak out or panic attack. In this case, the watermelon delivery boy is in close communication with her grandmother or caregiver, whoever she is, to make sure that she gets her watermelon at a specific time every single day. According to several researchers and online sources, many autistics have trouble planning their day, so them adhering to a strict routine, which is pretty much unchanged, helps keep them calm and relaxed. Uh-oh. She had a stroke. Oh no. Hope she's okay. Oh no. Now her routine's just gonna go all over the place now. Yeah.
All right, Lily, here we go. Okay, it's okay. Lily.
Really, by the way she's acting.
It's all right. It's okay. Just sleeping.
Okay, great job on that guy's part. I applaud the man's technique in being able to calm down music and describing the worrisome situation in a manner that won't make her have a big freak out or panic attack. Because the truth is, not all autistics, especially those who are low functioning and nonverbal like music, are gonna understand a very tense situation like that. In this case, her grandmother had a stroke and she's possibly dead, so she's not gonna understand that. So saying it in a very calming way instead of saying, oh my god, we gotta call 911, she's dying or she's gonna die or she's dead, that's just gonna make her go crazy.
What? Yeah. My grandma died. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Let me call you right back. Let me call you right back.
Did your grandmother really just die?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't really know her
no.
very well. Hey, do I have to do something to get one of those, or can I just...
You don't even care that your grandmother just died, so you don't give a
these.
crap? Like, that's just cold-blooded, man.
I have to earn it.
Yeah, that's true. That's how you do it.
I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing here.
Better than this. Want to give it a spin? Darn right you do. Say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Radical.
Knock, knock! Surprise! Hey, George. Music?
She's still focused on a TV show. So autistics can be super focused on something they like or admire so much to the point where they lose focus on everything else around them, including their family members showing up at the doorstep to say hi. You know, I don't have this problem as extreme as music does, but I will say that sometimes when I'm super focused on either a crossword puzzle or making videos like this, I'll just tune out everybody around me.
Like to do when there's nothing else to do for the day? I like to sing a song.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Whoa. Okay, hold the phone now. First of all, you should never take the headphones off of an autistic person like that. It could lead to them potentially hearing a loud noise and, as I've said a million times before, having a freak out or panic attack. I just have to point this out because I've been hearing it a lot throughout the first 15 minutes of the movie. You know, music's mouth noises are so over-exaggerated. I mean, autistics make mouth noises in the tone and manner that music is making, but, I mean, to do it all the time, it doesn't sound very realistic or accurate.
You and me for life. You and me for life.
I don't know what is going on.
You and me for life. You and me for life.
I don't even know what's going on. Okay. I mean, there's just infantilization written all over this musical number in this scene. I mean, from the romper room type environment to a man dressed in a dog costume dancing with music. I mean, just in case if you don't know what infantilization is, it's basically treating an adult person as if they're a child. And it's very common for people to infantilize autistic adults, mostly because, well, for starters, when they watch inaccurate autistic portrayals like this one, and just the fact that autism has always been viewed as a very childlike form of a disability or a disorder. So because of that, it's caused a lot of people to infantilize autistic people.
Make you A! Make you A! Time is it? Make you A! Make you A! Stop! Make you eggs is not a time. Make you A! Make you A! Okay, I got it.
You should never get angry at someone with autism when they need to start their morning routine. It's best to have a calm and patient voice so they feel as if they're smoothly transitioning into a part of their routine. Whoa, whoa! What is she doing?
Calm down, it's okay. Music.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think was gonna happen?
Hold on.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Hi there.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
What the heck?
Just freaking out.
It's your friend Ebo. You know me. Can't trust me. I'm going to crush you now.
No,
Make
what is he doing? What is he doing?
No, I'm not.
This is just
I'm crashing her
insanity.
with my laugh. She'll be alright.
What the heck? Whoa. What? No.
Don't like that. Don't like that.
Whoa, whoa. None of this is even close to accurate. There's just a big series of inaccuracies being portrayed in this sequence of scenes. First of all, going back to what Kazu did, or I guess in short, Zoo, you should never grab an autistic physically when they're having a freak out or panic attack. It's best to separate yourself from them and let their panic attack play out. I mean, according to a lot of articles and resources out there, there are other ways to minimize or mitigate a panic attack like that.
So, this is the book, and her whole life's a schedule.
She takes a walk each morning.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. So I want to reiterate the fact that autistics adhere to a strict routine, and it's oftentimes best to keep a written journal or notebook on hand just in case of emergencies.
In Ghana, my younger brother was the same way. He liked to be held to feel safe. So
Where's he now?
he is dead now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Special needs are not well understood in my country. In fact, in my village, it was considered a curse.
So I just want to point out what Ebo just said there of how special needs are not understood very well in his native country, Ghana. According to the latest research on autism rates by country, Ghana ranks only number 76. The number 1 country is the UK.
I was actually planning on sending her to People Pound later, but guess I'll keep her a little longer. Oh my god. Did you think I'm not serious? I mean, well,
How are you going to send someone to a so-called people pound, if that's even like a real thing? I mean, does she mean like an orphanage or foster home or just temporary care center or shelter for music? Secondly, even if you miraculously convince a foster home or care center to take care of music, the consequences you're putting on that care center or home would just be devastating. Keep in mind that she adheres to a strict routine, so putting her in a completely different environment with new surroundings where she's not in her routine would not only be a strain on music, but it would also be a strain on the people caring for her.
it's Raindrop. You remember Raindrop? Maybe you were too little. Raindrop was my dog. He had seizures too, just like you.
As a matter of fact, most research suggests autism and seizures are connected to each other in a lot of ways. Also, I should point out, epilepsy and autism often occur together, with research showing a 12% prevalence rate of the disorder in people with autism.
And if you are happy, press this one.
I am sad.
Very funny, troublemaker. No, silly. If you are happy, which one? This one.
Toy.
I am happy.
Very good.
I do see some infantilizing in this scene because you typically see toddlers use that type of toy, not autistic teenagers like music.
The headphones. It's called audio filtering. Her hearing is so sensitive, she can hear whispering 2 rooms away.
So I want to expand on what Ebo is talking about with music as far as her audio filtering, and that basically just means having a very sensitive perception and response to sound, which is commonly known in the scientific world as auditory processing disorder. And according to some researchers, it's believed about 1/3 of autistic individuals have this type of disorder. Now, I will have to correct Ebo's first point on when he says, quote, "It's not that music doesn't want to change, it's that she can't change." Some ways to try to help autistics make slight changes to their routine include using timetables, telling social stories to them, giving them extra time to make changes to their routine, even introducing small changes, then working your way up over time, and so many more.
She can understand everything you are saying to her. Maybe not right then. How it works is she hears it.
There you go.
She files it away. And then sometimes it is returned to her main system 3 weeks later.
There you go.
You know how she looks at you and then looks away quickly? She is taking a snapshot. If she didn't look away, it would totally overwhelm her. She sees the world in a completely different way from us.
So there are a few things in the scene that I both agree with and disagree with Ebo on. The first thing I agree with is, yes, music is more likely to stare at inanimate objects than human beings, because the truth of the matter is, autistics do tend to take snapshots of people and replay and create fantasy or dreamlike visions or sequences of those people in their head. And I will admit, I do this a lot. I mean, it all goes back to when I was 5 years old, and when I was diagnosed with autism, that's around the time when I started creating fantasy or dreamlike sequences or visions. The second thing I agree with Ebo is that yes, autistics do see the world in a very different way from the average person, or in this case, neurotypical people. And the way we see the world in a different light is from our honest viewpoints and colorful imagination of people. Now, the thing that I disagree with Ebo on is that I don't completely buy the realism and when he says that autistics get very overwhelmed when they stare at a person for too long. What Ebo is talking about with music is a term called sensory overload. It's when autistics sometimes process too much information, therefore overwhelming them. And the main reason why I disagree with Ebo on this point he made from an accuracy standpoint is that there are so many other significant factors that can cause sensory overload, such as loud noises, strong tasting foods, or touching a rough or sharp object. Oh gosh.
Music.
Oh no. That's just ridiculous. I mean, okay, I want to reiterate the point of sensory overload. As you can see, the kids were coming in and she was imagining them kind of flocking all around her, and that was freaking her out. That's sensory overload of what Ebo was kind of referencing. But the way, I mean, music, I mean, just Maddie Ziegler, the actor in general, is just responding is just very over the top. I mean, it's not like all of a sudden we get sensory overload and we start doing this and, you know, jerking our heads like this.
Okay, I do not feel good about bringing you along here with me today. Can we try not to have one of your freakouts up there, all right? Like, I do not know these people, but apparently they're loaded and I'd really like to keep them as clients. So can we get it out now? Just like, if you can try to get it out now. Okay. All right.
You can't just tell an autistic person to just get it out. That's not going to help. But in this case, Zoo needs to bring some kind of stim toy or object that can keep music occupied and distracted in order for her to avoid having some kind of freak out or panic attack.
All right.
What is she doing?
What are you doing?
That's what I'm saying.
No. Music.
I mean, autistic people, we're not stupid. Like, we don't just go down to the bench and eat gum like that. I mean, that's completely ridiculous and inaccurate. Oh, there's the, oh no, there's a bee. Uh-oh. Okay. Whoa. Hold up. Back up. Hold the phone. That's totally over-exaggerated. Like, it seems like Sia, just when she was writing this movie, she was just like, I wonder what happens when a nonverbal autistic person gets stung by a bee. Oh, I know, they must just totally freak out and go off the rails. Yeah, I don't buy the realism in that.
Any other questions?
No. No, we're good. Thanks.
It's for the best in the long run.
So I disagree with Zoo when she says leaving music at the adoption center is the best solution for in the long run. I have to reiterate the fact that autistics adhere to a strict routine, and like I said earlier, sometimes adoption care centers, or should I say most of the time, they won't be able to handle and adjust to that strict routine in the most proper way, and just a different environment, different setting, you know. I wouldn't say in the long run. I would say that that's very inaccurate and unrealistic, but I feel like it also depends on the type of autistic individual you talk to. So I'm gonna say that I'm neutral here. And what I mean is, as far as music just suddenly getting happy and going into some fun dream-like fantasy just because she sees Ebo and Zoo fall in love with each other. Well, let's just say theoretically that I do think that it's completely unrealistic. Well, then she would just be careless about everything going on around her, like I said earlier, and that's a term called alexithymia. The definition of alexithymia is having trouble reading and identifying other people's emotions. It's very common to be found in autistic individuals, both high-functioning and low-functioning alike. I will admit I had this problem a lot when I was younger, especially when I was in grade school and as a teenager. I would sometimes have trouble identifying my mom and dad's emotions.
Music is so exciting.
Okay, I will admit, out of all the inaccuracies that I've seen in this movie thus far, that's pretty accurate. A lot of times autistics will start doing something at random that they either like or admire or have a strong passion for. In this case, music loves to listen to music, which is causing her to sing on impulse when Ebo starts playing the piano.
Hi, I have a delivery for Music Gamble.
There are several autistic people who require service dogs, either for emotional support or physical safety. Some organizations include Autism Service Dogs of America, Pause for a Cause, Autism Assistance Dog, and so many more. Well guys, now that I've watched this movie for the first time and reacted to it, I have several key takeaways that I've come down to. The first takeaway that I have: never ever crush an autistic individual or squeeze them tightly when they're stressed out or having a big freak out or panic attack. The second takeaway that I have: we need to stop casting non-autistic actors to play autistic characters. The third takeaway I have with this film, and by the way, this is not to jab Sia or throw shade on her, you know, this is just me speaking to you guys in general and letting you guys know in general, if you're going to make a movie or show that represents autistic people or other neurodiverse individuals, please do your research as extensively and thoroughly as possible. The fourth and final takeaway I have with this film, and by the way guys, this is just recent news, I think from last month, Sia was recently diagnosed with autism. The reason why I bring that up is because shortly after the news broke of her autism diagnosis, some people both in person and on social media revisited her film Music that came out just 2 years ago and are questioning whether, because of her autism diagnosis, whether the portrayals were actually accurate or still inaccurate. The truth of the matter is this, and this is coming from me, an actual autistic self-advocate: Just because you were recently diagnosed with autism doesn't excuse you from making an inaccurately portrayed autistic character in a film. Well guys, episode 2 is in the books. Thank you guys for making this memorable for me and for those of you who requested for me to review this film. I had fun reviewing it and I hope you guys did too. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and you can also check out my other social platforms right over here. Thank you for watching, and as always,